Life in ancient Rome, a calm history for sleep. As the first light of morning gently spreads across the city, ancient Rome slowly awakens. Stone streets, worn smooth by countless footsteps, begin to warm under the rising sun. For ordinary people, this moment marks the beginning of another familiar and predictable day. Life in ancient Rome was shaped not by emperors and grand speeches, but by routine. Most people lived simple lives, focused on family, work, and survival. Their days followed a steady rhythm, guided by daylight, tradition, and habit. Morning in a Roman home. A typical Roman family rose early. Most homes of ordinary people were small apartments called insulae, built from brick and wood. Several families often lived within the same building, sharing narrow stairways and courtyards. Beds were simple wooden frames or straw mats. After waking, people washed their faces with water collected from public fountains. Clean water was highly valued, and aqueducts carried it from distant hills into the city. Clothing was modest. Men wore simple tunics tied at the waist, while women wore long dresses made from wool or linen. Children dressed similarly, often wearing hand-me-down garments passed down within the family. Breakfast was light. A piece of bread dipped in water or olive oil was common. Some families added olives, cheese, or fruit when available. Meals were not rushed, but quiet and practical. Work and daily labor. As the city became busier, adults left for work. Most Romans were not wealthy. They worked as craftsmen, laborers, shopkeepers, or traders. Bakers prepared bread in stone ovens. Potters shaped clay into bowls and jars. Tailors repaired clothing. Blacksmiths worked metal, while carpenters built furniture and tools. Many shops were located on the ground floor of apartment buildings, opening directly onto the street. Work was steady but not frantic. There were no clocks measuring minutes. The sun guided the pace of the day. Children helped where they could. Boys often learned their father's trade, while girls assisted their mothers at home. Education existed, but only some families could afford formal schooling. Many children simply learned by watching and doing. Midday and the city streets. By midday, the streets were alive with sound. Vendors called out their goods, carts rolled slowly over stone roads, and neighbors greeted one another in passing. Lunch was simple, often eaten outside the home. Bread remained the main food, sometimes joined by vegetables, lentils, or small portions of fish. Meat was rare for ordinary people and usually reserved for special occasions. Public fountains provided water, and public toilets were shared by many. Privacy was limited, but community life was strong. Romans were used to living close to one another. Religion quietly shaped daily life. Small household shrines honored family gods. Short prayers were spoken without ceremony, asking for health, protection, and good fortune. Baths and social life. In the afternoon, many Romans visited public bathhouses. These were not places of luxury for the elite alone, but social spaces open to nearly everyone for a small fee. Bathing was a daily habit. People washed, relaxed, and talked. The baths offered warmth, cleanliness, and the rare moment of rest. For many, this was the most peaceful part of the day. Health, habits, and quiet care. Health in ancient Rome depended largely on daily habits rather than medicine. Ordinary people believed that balance, cleanliness, and routine were the foundations of well-being. Simple remedies were used in everyday life. Olive oil was applied to the skin, herbs were brewed into mild drinks, honey was used to soothe wounds and sore throats. Most care happened at home, guided by knowledge passed quietly from one generation to the next. Public doctors existed, but many families relied on experience rather than formal treatment. Rest, fresh air, and moderation were considered just as important as any remedy. Illness was accepted as part of life, but panic was rare. Romans trusted routine to restore balance. Family, relationships, and belonging. Family was central to Roman life. Even in small apartments, people shared space closely. Conversations were constant but gentle, shaped by familiarity rather than urgency. Children learned through observation. They watched adults work, cook, clean, and speak. Education was informal for many, built into daily life rather than separate from it. Evenings often included moments of quiet togetherness. People sat, talked softly, or simply shared the same space without words. These moments brought comfort after long days. There was no expectation to be entertained. Being present was enough. The rhythm of the city. Although Rome was a large city, daily life for ordinary people felt surprisingly contained. Most activity happened within familiar neighborhoods. People recognized faces, voices, and routines. This repetition created a sense of safety. Even in crowded streets, life felt structured and predictable. Festivals and public events existed, but most days passed without spectacle, and that was exactly how people preferred it. A slower end to the day. As night deepened, oil lamps were carefully refilled or extinguished to save fuel. Doors were closed, the city softened. The distant sound of footsteps faded. The air cooled. Sleep came naturally, guided by darkness rather than clocks. Evening at home. As the sun lowered, families returned home. Evening meals were more filling than breakfast or lunch. Bread, vegetables, porridge, and sometimes eggs or cheese were shared around small tables. Homes were dimly lit by oil lamps. The soft glow created long shadows on stone walls. Conversations were quiet. After a long day of work, people valued calm and rest. Entertainment was simple. Stories were told, often about ancestors or familiar events. There was comfort in repetition, in hearing the same words again and again. Night and rest. As darkness settled over the city, Rome grew quieter. Shops closed, streets emptied, lamps flickered and were slowly extinguished. Families lay down to sleep, listening to distant sounds of the city fading into the night. There were no alarms, no glowing screens, no urgency. Tomorrow would come as it always did. A life of routine and balance. For ordinary Romans, happiness was not about ambition or fame. It was about stability, a roof overhead, food on the table, family nearby. Day after day, year after year, life continued in this gentle rhythm. And within this simplicity, ancient Rome endured for centuries. As night fully embraced the city, the streets rested, the lamps dimmed, and the people of Rome surrendered to sleep, ready to begin again when the sun returned.